swing yesterday. Where do you see that comparison?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a golfer. I probably break the clubs when I try to golf, but I'm not a punter either. But yes, it's probably very comparable because if you're off just a tiny bit, that ball's going this way or that way, or that way. So it's probably very comparable. You got to be precise. You got to be on with your leg swing. You got to be on with your ball handling, your drop spot, all that stuff. So I would say it's very comparable.
Get to be All Big Ten, borderline All-American in just 1 year, and then what do you expect from this year?
Yeah, great question. Love Will. Really dialed in guy, strong leg. His recruiting was funny. He was like a Colgate. He was going to Colgate, and we're like, holy crap, this guy can really kick it, And he came, and he just had a learning curve early because, as I mentioned before, we directionally punt those guys. It's not easy to come in here from a high school and just be a really good punter. So how did he get there? He just worked. He trusted in the coaching, and he worked through it, and his ability was there when he figured out exactly how to do it, and what we were asking, he took off. We're expecting a huge year from him. He knows that. He's got to just take where he left off last year and continue to rise. He's probably around the fourth or fifth safety right now. We got 3 guys that we feel great about at the top. But he's climbing. He's working his way up.
Do you expect to see him playing nickel at all?
He is working at nickel as well. Yeah, so he's kind of sitting behind Brad there at the nickel spot. We're learning from him and working from him, and he's also playing some free safety.
How does his skill set work there compared to the safety?
Well, I mean, it's very similar. He's got to be able to cover, and he presents a bigger body at that position, which helps. So it translates very similar.
What does that say about your team now, depth-wise? Back in like guys like Rashawn Gary and others when they were high-end recruits, you expected them to kind of play right away. Climbed up the depth chart pretty quickly. But now that you've got 3 guys ahead of Dax, what does that say about where you are depth-wise?
Yeah, I think it says a lot. We do have very good depth. I think it's more depth than since I've been here. But even Rashawn didn't start as a freshman. Devin Bush didn't start as a freshman. And those are 2 top first-round draft picks. So it's really hard. We like to say we're number 1 defense in the country, right? That's what we want to be. So to start as a freshman on the number 1 defense in the country, it's a hard thing to do now. And so we do have really good depth. But at the same time, he's a guy who comes in and he'll contribute there because of his skill set, because of his mind, and his abilities.
Guys, what's the competition?
In terms of the safety group or the team?
Your safeties and maybe the guys you work with on special teams.
He's the fastest guy at safety. He's probably one of the fastest guys on the team. I think Giles Jackson, Ambry Thomas. DJ Turner would be up there. We got some guys that can motor, but he'd be one of them for sure.
Speaking of that, you guys keep having Mike Barrett return kicks. How fast is he's the linebacker now, but how fast is he?
Yeah, he's Mike Barrett isn't maybe as fast as those guys, but he's very fluid. He's very smooth. He's got really, really exceptional ball skills. So that's where he's a guy who does really good, in terms of catching it and stuff like that. He's not necessarily the burner, but he's shifty. He was a high school quarterback.
Plenty fast for a linebacker, though, I imagine.
Oh yeah, plenty fast for a linebacker for sure. Yep.
Kind of envision for his freshman season, or is he already at the level that you want him at?
Well, he's not. No, I mean that's kind of impossible. I'm gonna want him to be an All-American. So it's maybe who knows. But he's really above and beyond what you would normally say is his learning curve. He's doing a really good job in terms of taking it on and learning the defense. From a safety spot, it's not that easy. You got a lot going on back there. So he's above and beyond that. Athletically, he's phenomenal. It's what you want. His explosive and his ability to run, his ability to track the ball is really good.
Is that as advertised?
Oh, yeah.
What exactly does that? What does that mean exactly?
He can run. He can tackle. He's a great young man. He's got a great work ethic. He's as advertised. We're very excited about him.
Where is he, excelled? Like what has he been able to do since he's gotten on campus?
He's a really good cover guy. That's where he's excelled, I'd say. But I mean, he's going to be an all-around great player. He's really good, and he knows the game. He's knowledgeable. He's smart. He cares, and he's got a strong work ethic. Brad is just growing and growing and growing and growing as a safety here. He just gets better every single moment. It's just he's got so much room to grow because he had never played defense before he got here. And then we started him down at the Viper spot, then moved him back, and he's taken to it. His knowledge of the game is immensely above what it was last year, and his ability to cover is phenomenal because he's a big body that can cover, which is hard to find. So we're really excited about him, and he practices hard. He's a great young man. He takes on more and more and more. So we're excited about him. I can't wait to see him, on the field on Saturday.
How important is he for this year's defense? Because he can play safety and come down and cover in the slot.
Oh yeah, you can't even name how important it is. That's what our defense is, So he's immensely important.
He hasn't, he's a senior and he hasn't done that much returning in his career.
Yeah.
So how does it kind of work for someone like that, who's an established senior, to kind of like start doing returning?
Yeah, he's been doing it since his career started. So. We've just fortunate enough to have Donovan back there, but Levert, has been back there the whole time. So I wouldn't be scared to put Levert in the game. He's pretty dynamic and he catches the ball well. So he's been back there the whole time. No punt returners. It's really, Donovan Peoples-Jones is the returner. He's done it for 2 years, and then Mikey Sanders still. Ronnie Bell are working back there, I would say, and Levert Hill is working back there. I would say those four are the guys who are working as punt returners.
Coach, can I ask you about Cameron Cheeseman?
Yeah, yes.
What's his practice routine like?
He practices hard. He's really continued to take the next step as a long snapper. Continued to get stronger and more fit. He's a 3-year starter coming back, so he's taking the leadership role there. He works out, he practices. I mean, you can only imagine how many snaps he takes a day, in all aspects. And we're excited. He's a really good player. So that's a great question. So there is no, hey, he's going to be special teams and he's going to work less on offense and defense. It doesn't work like that. They work on offense and defense. On offense and defense time, they work on special teams time. That's the whole team. So in that regard, there's no more focus in terms of that, because we got to get them ready in all aspects of the game. But those guys will. There are some guys that will contribute on some special teams as freshmen, and it's what you want. But just like we have some seniors that'll contribute on special teams, the best guys are going to play. So if there's a freshman that's going to be better suited for a unit, and he's going to play on that unit. Return spots. It's funny. It's like you don't realize. So going into football camp, you have 66 special team spots that people are fighting for. 66 on all phases. So we've had a lot of them are ironed out and ready to rock, but there's still some open. The returner is one that I would say is open for the most part. And again, you don't have to use one guy if you have some really good guys. I like Ronnie Bell, Mikey Sanders still, Giles Jackson, Mike Barrett, Daxton Hill, Christian Turner. All those guys are rotating back there and then do a really good job. Ambry Thomas is now coming back. At some point, we'll get in the mix there. So there's a bunch of guys that could help us there. Quinn's been awesome. He's had a heck of an offseason. He's the hardest guy when it comes to his work ethic. In the weight room and all that. He's been a good leader in the room. He's doing what he should do and what you expect a guy to do, even though that's not common nowadays. Most guys will run, but back in the day there was no running. You man up and you fight through and you be a good teammate and you try to get that job back, and that's what he's done.
Make a call and let them know.
I don't know. Maybe we don't have to. Maybe we just play them both. I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss that. Both had great attitudes, and you know, it's easy right now. They're getting, you know, equal kicks in practice, and you know, and that's what it would be like anyway with the one or two. You know, you'd get them reps. So we'll kind of sit down, you know, as a staff and with coach and see what we want to do.
What are their individual strengths, though? I mean, Quinn obviously with the big leg, and I know
Yeah.
Woody does too, but
Yeah, they're both really, really good kickers. Both of them have big legs. Both of them take it really seriously. Both of them, you know, put everything out there and really want to be great. They're similar in the regard that they both can kick pretty deep field goals, and they both can be really, really accurate too. So they're not really separated by much. I think we have, you know, maybe the best kicker room in the country, you know, when you put both of them together. So, you know, it's really good. It's fun. It's exciting to coach them.
Do you want just one? Do you plan to use both throughout the season? Sounds like if they're that even.
Yeah, I mean, can't really answer that. You know, it's nice to have both, right? So, I'd love to see them both play. You know, when you got two guys that are phenomenal and they're duking it out, we'll keep it rolling. You know, they've both been really good. They've both been really good through the spring, through camp, and you know, I don't think we're pressed to make an immediate decision. I think we just let those guys keep kicking and keep working.
How does it work then on a game